y'all. Welcome back to another episode of the Girl Gains podcast. I'm Amber P.
I'm Alexis Nicole.
At the time of us recording this, Alexis is you're 9 days out, 10 days out. Okay, so let me tell
No,
you
9. I put 1.
9.
Yeah.
Okay, so last night I was doing editing, and then I realized that I edited the um Jesus, the pod from when you got back from Portugal. I never uploaded it
Oh.
because I was
Whoops.
going through
So
and I
we're
was
ahead.
looking. Huh? So we're super ahead. So by the time this comes out, you probably would have already been competed. But I was just kind of like, oh, because I thought it was odd. Because normally, like when we post up, like we'll get like tags and stuff. I was like, whatever, people
Yep.
are busy, and there it was just sitting there. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna upload that tonight. So
Whoops.
that's my bad. Um, yeah. So as you can see, I have no brain power. My brain has left the building. However, today's episode is going to be a short, sweet one because now that we've had some national shows come around, I thought it would be cool to talk about what's going on with Fit Model because both Alexis and I have been taking clients for Fit Model posing. And how this started was I was looking at some of the athletes that competed at what's the national show in Vegas. I can't think of
USA's.
USA's. Yeah, because I know some people get silly. It's not nationals. I know. Leave me alone. I'm working on one brain cell. Okay. And so was looking at the posing because I think what people fail to forget is, and this is kind of what I've been telling my athletes, they really don't know yet. It's new. Everything is still kind of being sorted out, and they're like, well, what do you think is best? I'm like, I don't know what's best yet because it just hasn't been around long enough to say. But the thing that's been tripping me up is when teaching girls how to pose, from my understanding, when they released the criteria, they're not supposed to have bikini transitions, but I saw a lot of bikini transitions, so it's just a matter of, okay, what's going on? What are we doing?
Okay, I'm going to pull up the website so I can read it verbatim because I've been teaching per the criteria
Same.
because bodybuilding is judged on criteria. And that's how I bodybuild. That's how I compete is per the criteria. I adjust my physique per the criteria. That is what you should be doing. However, let me hang on. I can't read and talk because I also don't have any brain. Women's physique. I don't even. I don't see it. Bodybuilding, women's physique, bikini, fitness, figure, men's physique, classic physique, women's wellness, women's bodybuilding wheelchair. So that might be part of the problem. Right? I'm not crazy. There's no fit model there.
Yeah, no, it's not up there.
So maybe that's part of the problem. But
Yeah. We're just going off of what they said at the
yes,
beginning.
okay, I was gonna say we have social media resources, everyone's on Instagram. If you're in bodybuilding and you're not on Instagram, you're losing a very large resource. But specifically when it first came out, I know Becky Clausen, Fit Pro Becky, or Fit Pro Becky, is that her Instagram handle, I think? She's a national and Olympia judge. Specifically she promotes women's divisions, specifically hammered the criteria for Fit Model. And the routine is shorter than bikini. The difference is it's less muscular. The front pose is different. It's the old school broken leg front pose, if you know what I'm talking about. And they don't want transitions, is what's been hammered and preached by the judges. So I don't teach transitions. It's literally a pivot to the back, a pivot to the front. We're not shoulder bumping. We're not flipping hair. Yeah, it's literally front, back, front, off. However, in all divisions, people do things they're not supposed to do. You've got men's physique competitors doing front double biceps. The judges a lot of times will either kick them off stage or just say into the mic, no men's open poses because it's not your division. Fit model's not bikini. So you shouldn't be trying to do a bikini routine because it's not bikini. Just like wellness doesn't do a bikini routine. It doesn't do a figure routine. Figure should not be doing a wellness front pose in their routine. Like there's no crossover. There's lines between the divisions for a reason. I totally get that people have different interests, compete in both. In Fit Model, you can't cross over at the same show. The loophole that I just saw this morning, I sent it to you on Instagram, Amber. Um, Sometimes there will be two shows in one show. For example, there might be like the Mid Atlantic Classic slash um, the Virginia Classic. And it's the same show. It runs all together. It's on the same stage at the same venue. It's just two different entries. In that kind of a situation, you can do Fit Model in one show and Bikini in the other. So if you are dead set on doing something like that, do that kind of a setup, or do two shows back to back weekends. See where you land. The intention of not allowing crossover is to create a clear line between the two divisions, which I think is important across all divisions. You guys have heard me say you can cross over once. If it's your first time or
Yeah.
it's your coming back after a 10-year hiatus or whatever and you don't know where you
Right.
land, do bikini and wellness. See your feedback. You fit in one of them, you don't fit in both.
Mhm.
And then from there, decide, do you want to fit in the one that they told you, or do you want to downsize or grow to fit into the other one? Same thing with Fit Model. You don't belong in both of them. I've also, in my opinion, noticed that bikini, they're accepting a little bit more muscular physique at the national level shows. And I think that's because Fit Model is less muscular. The same thing happened with wellness. When they introduced wellness, bikini, the look kind of became smaller for a while to allow that difference between the two divisions. And I think that's completely appropriate. There's criteria for the divisions for a reason so that they are differentiated. And there's so many. So pick one and compete in it. But don't change don't try to merge them because they're not supposed to be merged.
Exactly. That's what I was explaining to one of my posing clients the other day. The reason that there are no transitions in Fit Model is because they have to draw the line between the two because let's keep it a
It's
buck.
meant to be entry level. You're not supposed to
Yeah.
have as much time up there. It's like a 10-second
No.
routine.
I mean, because if we're going to be realistic about it, a Fit Model athlete 9 times out of 10 is going to look very similar to a true novice bikini athlete, just due to the muscular, right? However, with suits, you'll be able to differentiate, but when you just look at the physique, so therefore they have to do something to separate the two. And so when it comes to posing, I get it, people want to add flair, do this and that. However, that's not what you're supposed to be doing for that particular criteria. Now, here's the thing, that doesn't mean you can't have your own personality and flair. That's not what I said. But if they said front, turn to the back, and come back to the front, that's what it is that
We're
you
not
should be
hitting a
doing.
model pose in between.
No, no. And that's what I've been teaching it. And so it makes it very
And
difficult
if you
for.
don't know what we're explaining, you need to hire a posing coach.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. It makes it very difficult, when I do get a new posing girl. She's like, "Well, I saw this girl do this." I'm like, "I understand, but this is when it's kind of similar to being able to help break down the judge's feedback. It's kind of the same thing when it comes to the posing. I'm like, "I understand you saw that. I understand that that girl won. She won probably because she was the best that day.
Yeah.
However, when we go take it to the national level, like that probably will not fly. So you just want to make sure that you
And
are
the
doing
deeper that we get into it, the less and less that things are going to fall through the cracks. Like
exactly.
when we've seen this over and over, if you've been in this for a while, you know what we're saying. When there were wellness pros who won their pro cards the first year, did well the first pro season, and then you don't see them at the top anymore because that's what they're sticking with and things evolve. And bodybuilding evolves in general. All the divisions evolve. Fit model is going to look very different in 5 years than what it does now. Same with bikini, same with wellness. Hopefully in the direction that you prefer, but everyone's going to have an opinion. But to be successful right now, you have to do what is appropriate right now. And to be successful in the future, you have to adapt and change your physique. And if you don't want to, then that's your preference. But to be successful and win shows, that's what's required in the sport. Um, I forget where I was going.
That's okay. And something else to keep in mind as well, y'all. Obviously, next year when we start seeing Fit Model Pro shows, that I'm interested to see how that goes. Because okay, so at the NPC level, they can't transition. Understood, got it. But what does
How are
that
you
mean?
gonna have a longer routine? Are they gonna let the pros have a longer routine, or is it gonna be straight
Exactly.
to the box?
Yeah, so we'll have, and this is why, like, I'm just so straight up with my girls because, they're looking, if you're someone's posing coach, they're looking at you for feedback and answers. And I'm honest, I'm like, I don't know. We just got here. We have to
Oh,
wait.
I know where I was going. I did some research too, because obviously Amber and I aren't in the audience at all these national level shows anymore. Um, so I asked some regulars that are regularly in the audience, and the general consensus is that most people are following the criteria. So when you see, and it's hard because social media, you only see what the algorithm shows you.
Right.
Um,
Keep going.
and that's why I asked, because sometimes you're seeing, it felt like we were seeing a lot of what's not the criteria, and that doesn't seem to be the case. So I think it's even more important to point out that you can't always go by just what you're seeing. Just like you shouldn't be posing just like someone else. Your physique is not someone else's. Um, Follow the criteria. Like that's what we keep coming back to. Like, in it would help if it was on NPC News Online. Maybe I'll bring that up to someone. Um, I'm sure it's been worked on, and someone just doesn't realize that it's not there, or maybe it's under a different tab that I'm not seeing. But
Follow the criteria, long story long. And I think sometimes what happens is, like you see one person do something, like, well, so and so did it and they won. I'm like, cool, you're not her. And you don't know what her feedback was either. You don't know what the judges said to her. So that's why it's always best to mind the business that pays you and not
yeah,
someone else's.
yeah, and of course you learn more and more over the seasons. A lot of the fit model competitors are completely brand new to the sport. The division was added. It was seen by completely brand new people who were interested but felt like they didn't have enough muscle for bikini, and felt like, okay, this is a division that I can do. I get it. Um, but you have to do your due diligence to educate yourself. I've also noticed a lot of fit model competitors are not seeking posing advice. Um, or they'll have one or two sessions. They're not as diligent as the bikini wellness figure competitors that are posing regularly. Granted, there's less poses. You're on stage for less time, but the presentation is still important. The flow is still important. You don't want to just hit the front poses. You don't want to have too long of transitions, but you don't want to just turn around either. Um, so I think a lot of the frustration on social media of the people who like the division and people who don't comes from that too. It's great to have an entry level option, but it still needs to be taken seriously. It's still bodybuilding.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Like, regardless of how you feel about it, good, bad, or indifferent, it don't matter because Tyler and them said what it is. It's here. Okay, cool. But also with that, you need to be mindful. I see both sides because I get it. Like, some people, they do struggle with putting on muscle, or they just simply don't want to look that way. Like, I have one client right now. We've been prepping, I want to say, since spring, and I was just straight up with her, just due to her dietary standards. She's vegetarian and she wants to do bikini, and she's a hard gainer, and she's 5'7". And I just use myself as an example. I'm like, okay, I'm a bikini pro. I'm an inch taller than you. You see the muscle density, and so like, and I laid it all out for her, and I just told her straight up, this is like, I respect that there are certain things you do not want to do, and I am not going to push that on you, but understand that at this point for bikini and what it's looking like, you will not be competitive. And I think that's a hard part sometimes for athletes to hear when coaches, like, that's your coach's job. Your coach's job isn't to tickle your ear and tell you what you want to hear. You pay them to assess your physique. And so I think I've heard a lot of athletes that have had to transition over from bikini to fit model, they feel a way about it. They're like, oh, well, I've been working so hard. Congratulations, keep working. We're all working hard, you know? And so it's just kind of like this new division. Yeah, it can be helpful, but at the same time, I get why it can kind of break your spirits, but you have something else to work towards as well, you know? So play the game. If you're a fit model right now, cool. Keep building until you get to bikini. But I think, I don't know. I'm going off into a tangent.
Yeah, I think play the game,
Play the
educate
game,
yourself, figure out what's necessary, do it.
yeah,
Don't do what you're not supposed to be doing.
period. That's simple. But, as time goes, things will evolve. I think next year we'll be able to really get a true assessment once we start having the fit model pros come on stage and kind of see how they go with it. And I think it's going to be very interesting when we start to see bikini pros transition over to fit model. That's going to be very interesting to see. So we're just going to have to watch, wait, and see.
Yeah, it's ever evolving. It's something to look forward to. But you also have to think about what's necessary now.
Hmm. 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 And I was getting ready to say something else. If you're someone who is kind of like going back and forth about, okay, fit model or bikini, the best piece of advice that I can give you is, y'all, you have got to be self aware. I think sometimes our goals can kind of cloud where we are right now in the moment, you know? And so, yes, it's great have a goal, but if you want to compete right now, like let's say if your goal is to be bikini and you want to compete right now, but sweet cheeks, you're just not bikini, that's okay. You get to pick. You can either ride fit model or take a step back and keep building for a bikini. Like I think, I don't know. I've just heard, I talk to a lot of athletes and a lot of them are really struggling with that. And it's just kind of like, y'all, at the end of the day, what you have to understand is the people with the best genetics are always going to
Yeah, genetics are superior. And I think also, like, let's not forget that a lot of people hated wellness when it first came. It was
win.
fat bikini. That's what everyone kept
100%.
saying. That what is this division? This is silly. It's just fat
Mhm.
bikini. It's for people not to get. And that's not what it is.
That's not
That's
it.
not what it was. That's not what it was supposed to be. That's what was awarded sometimes because people didn't know. People weren't putting it into practice. But it is one of the most popular women's divisions now.
That's crazy.
Um, and that's just in, this is the fifth season. So
my my fit model client that I was posing with over the weekend, she's brand new, and so she was just asking questions. She's like, "Well, what's the difference?" Because she knows nothing about it. She's like, "Well, what is wellness? What is a bikini?" So we'll have to do an updated version of our physiques now. We can do that next week. But I showed her our old one from like 2023. It's like, this is my best friend Alexis. She's a wellness pro. This is me. Do you see the difference? She was like, "Whoa!" I said, "The funny thing is, in this photo, we are the exact same weight, but it's a totally different
yeah,
look." And she was like, "Those quads." I said, "Yeah." And then I showed her your most recent video that you sent me just so she can like understand what it's supposed to look like. She's like, "Okay, yeah, no, that's not for me." And I'm like, "Very good. Very good. Like, have some self-awareness."
yeah, and the whole weight thing, like it's still a look.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
look.
so like I'm actually 3 pounds less on stage this season than I was last season. I need to be more conditioned, but I have more muscle too. So don't get hung up on the weight and don't get hung up on measurements. The last question box I put up, it was like, "What are your quad measurements? What are your quad measurements?" I don't know because they told me not to grow my quads, so it don't matter. They're big enough. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, and I explained to her, I said, the only reason why we're the same weight in that photo is because I'm 5'8". If I was your height in bikini, I would weigh way less.
yeah.
You have more
Well,
muscle than
I
me.
have a good friend, you know who I'm talking about, who is my same height, and she's bikini. We're about she competes the week before the Olympia, so we're about the same weeks out as far as that. And she's about to be in the one teens, and she's not lacking muscle for bikini at all. Um, and I was 145 this morning. So, and I was 143 for Portugal, so we're not far off from what my stage weight is going to be
Right.
again. Um, it's just it's different. It's different for every division. And if you're the same height and in fit model, you're going to weigh less because you still need to have conditioning. Not quite as lean as bikini, but pretty close. It's almost like the skipping the what bikini would look like skipping the depletion then peak.
That's a perfect example. That's a perfect example because some of those girls on USA's, woo, they were lean. They were lean. So for all y'all out here who thinking, oh, fit, I've been saying it. I don't
You
need
need
it.
abs, you need glutes, you just don't want a crisp tie-in.
That's it. That's it. So for everyone who's thinking, oh, this is going to be easy, no, it's not. And I think some of the fitness influencers kind of have that mindset. It's like, oh, well, I can just slip into this. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to diet. Yeah, you do. Yes, you do. Because
And there's a
some of them,
difference between an influencer and a bodybuilder.
absolutely. And there's nothing
There's
wrong.
not very many that are both.
It's difficult to be both. You have bodybuilders who have to create content because it's part of the job, and you have fitness influencers. They're different. But anywho, that's all I got. I'm
Yeah, my plans for the day are I'm gonna bake some bread. I'm going to go train hamstrings, try to survive it, drink some water, get my meals in, cross stitch,
yeah. I've got cardio.
write a plan. I have to write a plan.
I got cardio. I need to pack Tampa, and then
And then so Amber goes to Tampa this weekend, and then she comes to me next weekend.
yay! I'm just yeah.
That'll be fun. She'll do my makeup in house. I don't have to go anywhere. I'm a pampered princess. Um, I got my tan time, so I'll send that to you.
Oh, okay,
Um,
cool. I'm on your time, girl. Whatever.
yeah, I'm excited. I picked out my outfit. Did I send you my outfit for check-ins?
You, I
I'll have to
think you
send it
said
to
what
you.
you
It's
were
cute.
debating. I don't know if you landed on. I don't think I saw what you decided on though.
I'm excited for it. My family's coming, so that'll be fun. And then my birthday is right after.
Yay! And that's it. All right, y'all. We'll chat with you next time. It'll be probably Alexis's puke week.
Yep, sounds good.
Yep. Bye, y'all.
Bye, guys.